Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, man, you guys know the deal on this channel. So about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narrative, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And in this video, I want to talk about Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs last night beating the OKC Thunder on Christmas Day in a really good game yesterday in the day. And this is the third time they beat the OKC Thunder in the last 6 games. They played the Thunder 3 times over the last 6 games, and they've beaten them 3 times and during that stretch. And very impressive wins, by the way. 2 of the 3 wins were, they beat the Spurs. They beat the OKC Thunder handily yesterday, guys. So once again, shout out to all you guys out there, the San Antonio Spurs fans. Shout out to the San Antonio Spurs, man. Victor Wembanyama and a lot of these guys that we're going to talk about in this video real briefly. I did some posts yesterday. I was watching this game, man, because like I said, it came on in the daytime. It was the second game. The first game was the Knicks game, which was a really good game, too. I tell you, I'm not doing any views on the Knicks. I'm not doing it. I won't. I refuse. We were talking about the Spurs versus OKC in this video, man, and how impressed I am with the Spurs. Like I said, beating the OKC Thunder 3 times. 3 times in a row, essentially, they've beaten them, guys. We were talking about this video, man. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states that's been supporting my channel. Once again, guys, you know I'm truly, truly humbled, man. Much respect to all the true basketball fans out there that continue to stand up. Once again, man, it means a lot, guys, for you guys to email me the messages, all this stuff. You guys really help support my channel, man. So thank you. Real recognize real. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So once again, man, you guys know the deal out here, man. We're going to talk about the San Antonio Spurs and the OKC Thunder game yesterday on Christmas Day. Now, once again, man, when we're talking about the NBA, and sometimes, these weird LeBron James fans, they come in my comment section, and I don't really want to talk about LeBron James, but his fans will come to my comment section, and they'll say, oh, all you do is talk about LeBron James, or they'll say things like, yo, if you don't like basketball, then why you watch it? If you don't like basketball, then don't watch it. Why are you talking about it? Who cares? Blah, blah. Like, this is the kind of stuff that they come at you with, right? And why would they come at me this way? Because they don't understand what I'm talking about. I've never said that I hate basketball. I'm telling you guys, I love the game of basketball. That's why I do and say the things that I say. Because once again, it's about holding the standard for the NBA, for basketball. It's a standard. We love the sport. We love the game. That's why we're holding the standard. That's why we're holding these guys accountable. But they want to turn around and say, if you don't like it, then don't watch it. That doesn't make any sense. The reason why we don't like it is because it's not basketball. If these guys were playing basketball and we just didn't like it because we're just being nostalgic, that's how they're trying to, make this out to. Oh, you guys are just nostalgia that's ruining it for you guys. No, the players are ruining it for us. I don't make this stuff up. I've told you, I've never lied about these guys. And when they talk about nostalgia, how can it be nostalgia? Or what they think about being nostalgia is if I say, for example, yo, when I was growing up, those guys show up to work. You turn the TV on, they were in the lineup. Karl Malone and Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, Clyde Drexler, Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, right? Kevin Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal in the 90s, right? These guys were in the lineup, man. So when we talk about, guys showing up to work, and remember, we're not talking about these guys being perfect. I've never once came on here and said, no one in the 90s ever missed a game. Those guys never missed games. They were there. No, I said more often than not, more consistently than not, they were there for us. They were there for the fans. They were there to lift the game up. If they weren't, then their game would not have been lifted up. It's so simple. It's right there, but they make it about nostalgia. It's not nostalgia. They were really there. They really did give the effort. They were physical. They played defense. That's not me just thinking that they did or remembering differently. Oh, you guys are not remembering the 90s right. No, anyone that says that you didn't watch the 90s. Because everything I talk about on this channel is the facts. I'm giving you the exact factual perspective of what actually happened. When I tell you the great players were always there, they were always there, guys. More often than not perfection, but they were always there. They were not never. Oh, now they're never there. That's why they have a league minimum. Like the kid told me on the live stream. I told him, guys are load managing so much that the NBA came out with a 65-game minimum. You guys remember what his response to me? Oh, that's your opinion, he said. How is it my opinion that when I say the NBA came out with a 65-game minimum because they're load managing? That's not my opinion. That's the actual reality and the facts of the matter. That's why the 65-game minimum is there. It's not there because I'm saying that the guys are not load managing. It's really there because they are. But he's telling you that's your opinion. Weird stuff. These kids don't understand the vocabulary that they use when they say hater, opinion. They don't get it. Anyone, they think that, oh, it's my opinion. That's great. I told you, anyone can have an opinion. Once you start trying to spread your opinion out, you start to talk on a microphone, you start to try to promote whatever you believe in, whatever your opinion is, then you have to explain it. That's when you have to have facts and evidence on your side. Real simple, but the LeBron James fans don't get this stuff. So anyway, I go off on a tangent. Sorry, guys. Back to the San Antonio Spurs and what I've noticed from them and what they're doing. Outstanding now. Like I said, they've beaten the OKC Thunder 3 times in a row, 3 times in 6 games. And guys, 2 of these games are blowouts. I watched the entire game yesterday on Christmas Day. Man, me, my father, my brothers, we watched that game. I told you, we watched this game first, and it rolled right into that game. And we watched that game last night. Yesterday in the daytime. Guys, I believe the score was 117-102. So it was a 15-point win for the San Antonio Spurs, which is a pretty, handily, someone like OKC, they're beating them by 15 points. But guys, you realize the last time that they beat the OKC Thunder, the time before it, they played back-to-back. Just back-to-back, guys. They beat them 130-110. 130-110. They scored 130 points against the number 1 defense. They beat them by 20. So, combined, in 3 games, remember, the first time they beat the Thunder was a very close game. It came down to the last seconds, and they beat them 111-109, right? The San Antonio Spurs won that game. Combined, in the 3 wins that the Spurs have gotten over the Thunder over the last week, 3 times in 6 games, it combined to beat the Thunder by 37 points, guys. 37 points? So you're talking about, on average, they're beating the Thunder by 12. 12! The Thunder are the number 1 team on defense. They're a top 5 offense. One of the best players in the league, if not the best player in the league on their team. They have a bunch of really good defensive guys and role guys on that team. But I'm telling you guys right now, as I said last year, I'm not as impressed with the OKC Thunder's team overall historically as people were talking about them last year. Oh, look at their point differential. They're greater than the Bulls. Or they're up there with the Bulls in differential. That's how great they were. They were trying to compare them to the all-time great teams in the weakest era of all time. Right? And I went back and forth with Scab about this before because he loves to pump up some of these guys in the competition because Nicole Jokic ain't got no help. So he's got to pump up the OKC Thunder and SGA teammates. Who the hell's SGA playing with? Listen, man, I like Jalen Williams, man. He's a solid player. He's a good player, man. But they pumped this dude up like he's like that. He ain't like that. And like I told you, he missed the first half of the season for these dudes. They were still winning without him. Chet Holmgren ain't like that either, man. All right, he's a big, skinny, scarecrow-looking dude. In the 90s, Chet Holmgren is in big, big trouble, man. And he's very inconsistent. What did he have last night? What did he do yesterday in the game? What did he do yesterday on Christmas Day? These guys were not helping SGA like that. How many free throws has SGA gotten? Right? They talk about SGA as a free throw merchant, which I don't subscribe to this. I told you it's kind of crap. I don't respect them trying to trash SGA by saying he's a free throw guy when we see everyone in the NBA is getting free throws and not really. So anyway, in the 3 games against the Spurs, SGA has taken a combined total of 17 free throws, guys, in 3 games. SGA gets 17 free throws sometimes in 1 game. But in 3 games against the Spurs, he's combined for 17 free throws, guys, in a game. That's like 5-6 free throws a game. Does that seem like a free throw merchant to you? Now, once again, shout out to the San Antonio Spurs, because that's what we want to focus on now, is the players on that team and the effort that they give. Those Spurs are a good defensive team, man. I believe they're ranked number 7th in defense so far this year, but they're good, man. And the reason why they're good, and I noticed this yesterday watching the game, because I remember really watched a full San Antonio Spurs game. I watched the entire game. Christmas Day, I told you, we watched basketball on Christmas Day in my house, man. So we were sitting on the couch, man, me and my brothers, my dad, we were chilling, the women were doing their thing, my mom and, my sister-in-laws and my wife, they're doing stuff in the kitchen and they're doing their little gossiping stuff like LeBron James and JJ on the podcast. The kids are doing their thing, it's Christmas, everyone's having a great time. So I watched the full game, man. We watched the full game. And me and my dad, we were getting into it at one point about Victor Wembanyama. Because you guys saw I made a post and I said, yo, don't let these guys punk you out there. This dude Williams was they were trying to punk Victor Wembanyama out there because Victor Wembanyama is very frail and skinny. He's kind of light still. And he's young. They're trying to go after him. They were trying to be physical and bump him and push him around and, trying to intimidate him, it seemed like. And Victor Wembanyama, it looked like it was almost working on him. And then it was like a switch flipped in him. And the Spurs as a team were like, yo, hold on. They're trying to come down on Victor Wembanyama. And they rallied around him, right? And he rallied with them. And the Spurs, man, like, I'm watching this game. This dude Castle, I've talked about Stephen Castle before. Or Stephen Castle, I'm not pronouncing the name of him. But the kid Castle, he plays both sides of the ball. And these guys are big bodies, man. Every one of the Spurs is like 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". You got Dylan Harper, Ron Harper's son. He played a really good game yesterday. Once again, it's not about the box score, or necessarily what these guys are doing up on the box score, right? The stat-wise, the impact is there. I'm watching the game. Dylan Harper's impact was there. Castle's impact is there on both sides of the ball. Vassell, man, he didn't put up a lot of points last night. I think he only hit one shot. But he was there all game long, playing defense, giving the effort, hustling out there on the basketball court, just making winning plays. But obviously, Victor Wembanyama. Harrison Barnes. I do not like Harrison Barnes. Me and my dad were laughing about Harrison Barnes because my dad was like, yo, Harrison Barnes is still on the team. Oh, he's still in the NBA. And I started laughing, and I was like, yeah, because my dad was a big Golden State Warrior guy when they were doing their thing, when Steph Curry and them were there, 2015, and they, first came about. My dad really liked the Warriors. So he was rooting for the Warriors and Steph Curry at that time. And he remembers Harrison Barnes, and he was like, yo, he's still in the NBA. And I was like, yeah. And Harrison Barnes played a really good game yesterday. He was good yesterday on Christmas Day. Once again, to me, he's the weak link. Oftentimes when I've seen some of these games, to me, I'm like, why is Harrison Barnes even out there? Sometimes he's not doing anything out there. And sometimes he's horrendous offensively. And I told you guys before, in my opinion, I watched the entire 2016 NBA Finals. Harrison Barnes was horrendous in that Finals. Horrendous. If that man is just decent in games 3 through 7, the Golden State Warriors win that series. But Harrison Barnes was terrible, man. He was trash in that series. But anyway, he was good yesterday. And what's really interesting about the Spurs, we have to remember, they beat the Thunder 3 times in a row now. And all those wins, Victor Wembanyama was coming off the bench, guys. Coming off the bench. Remember, he's dealing with that, I think it was like a calf injury, right? So he's kind of like coming back from that. They have like, I don't know if it's a minutes restriction or they're just kind of like easing him in. He's not starting right now. I don't think he started the last 3 or 4 games. Or whatever it was. But maybe, it might even more, maybe like last 6 or 7 games. But he's been coming off the bench, playing like 22, 25 minutes essentially in these games. So it's not even like Victor Wembanyama's out there for 35, 40 minutes a night, and he's just dominating OKC because they don't have anybody to match up with him, really, and it's just Victor Wembanyama being special. No, Victor Wembanyama's been good, but he hasn't been amazing or great. And in one of the games, he wasn't really that good, really, because he was just coming back, right? So the Spurs are doing this without Victor Wembanyama being the best player on the court, essentially, in these games. I told you, you can argue Castle was better, right, in some of these games, or Vassell, right? Harrison Barnes was better maybe in some of them games than Victor Wembanyama was. I mean, like I said, Harper's been really good. Or the Champagny guy, I probably jacked his name up. I think his name is Champagny or something like that. They have a bunch of guys that are like 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". That's what I took away watching them yesterday. They have a lot of guys that can hustle, that are athletic, that can get up and down the court, that can finish. They just got a really solid team, it looks like, me to my Spurs. So I'm really happy with what I see, because remember, where we were going with the OKC Thunder is it was becoming a point in time where people were starting to get upset with the OKC Thunder because they were running roughshod over everybody. And I told you, to me, there were only a couple teams I thought can compete with the Thunder. I thought the Denver Nuggets could because of Nikola Jokic and some of the guys like Murray being a clutch time performer, and some of the other guys in the team are good, are solid. Also, Houston Rockets. I thought the Houston Rockets were a legit team that could beat the OKC Thunder in a 7-game series because of a Kevin Durant and the guys around him. Once again, Kevin Durant doing what he does best, being a front runner on a bus rider. This is what he needs. You got Amen Thompson. Steve Adams, one of the elite offensive rebounds in the league. You have the Alperen Sengun kid that's trying to come into his own, right? You have Jabari Smith Jr., right? I mean, you have a team of guys. So to me, the Rockets were a team that could possibly be a contender because they played defense and you had some players. I never thought about the Spurs. I thought they were a second-tier team. I thought they were there with the Golden State Warriors, maybe the Minnesota Timberwolves, maybe the Lakers as a second-tier team. But I thought the Spurs were in that realm. I'm starting to believe that the Spurs are one of the top teams in the West. They are a legit contender in the West. There's no way you can beat OKC Thunder 3 consecutive times. And I'm going handedly. They didn't beat them by 1 point or a last-second heave that someone made a shot. They're handedly beating them on average of 12 points, guys. There's no way you're doing this to this team, OKC Thunder, without being a really good team. To me, the Spurs are a legit contender. As long as Wembanyama stays healthy, it's a big if. Huge if for Wembanyama. But the Spurs should be feeling really good. Merry Christmas, all the San Antonio Spurs fans, because you guys got the complete opposite of the Lakers. The complete opposite. The Spurs don't have a single top 10 player on their roster besides Victor Wembanyama. But the Lakers have two. They got two top 10 players on their team, but yet they're terrible. They're so inconsistent. Meanwhile, the Spurs were only the one top 10 player. And I told you, I don't even believe that Victor Wembanyama is a top 10 player based off of what he did last year. I didn't feel that. I did not believe he was a top 10 guy this year. I don't believe how you can give Victor Wembanyama top 10 stats when he only played, 47 games last year or 40-some games last year. To me, he did not earn that. He, to me, would have been outside the top 10, maybe 11 or 12, based off of that. But he's a top 10 player. We know that based off of what he can do. But I told you, based off of last year, only playing half the season, I couldn't put him top 10 this year. I said, remember, he was out because of blood clots, guys. This is serious stuff. So we didn't even know if he was going to come back. So the fact that he's back, I mean, he started the season sensationally. He was so hot to begin the season. Spurs are 5-0. He's blocking everything. He's making everything. He wasn't chucking up threes. He was running the court. He's making it rain out there. That's what he was doing. And then he went down with the injury, and he's still kind of coming back. You can tell, not really where he was at the beginning of the first 10 games of the season or so. So I'm very impressed with the San Antonio Spurs. Shout out to the San Antonio Spurs. Like I said, all the guys I mentioned, the athletes on that team, they have a really good team, man. Is that they continue to play defense this way, continue to hustle. The injuries, right? They don't have any injury problems. We know this can happen. I think the Thunder, I think the Spurs, or the Thunder don't want to see the Spurs. I think a lot of teams don't want to see the Spurs. They really don't. Because, like I said, the athletes that they have, the way they match up, is a nightmare. And OKC Thunder, SGA ain't surrounded with all these great players. They try to make it seem like the Thunder are some superior stacked team. They're not. SGA is a really good, excellent player, right? You have guys like Holmgren, the Jalen Williams, Lou Dort. Who's Lou Dort? Lou Dort's not even on a roster in the 90s, guys. But that's their shooting guard. That's their wing. And this guy's a 3-and-D. This guy can't shoot threes. He stays chunking up threes, though, Lou Dort. But these are guys SGA's playing with. They're very inconsistent. Isaiah Hartenstein. Guys, Isaiah Hartenstein, man. They say he's a solid player. But come on, man. The SGA is surrounded by these great all-world players, man. He's not. They feed off of him. They're a deep team, the Thunder. They're deep. But they're not deep with superstar guys or star players. To me, Jalen Williams, yeah, he's an all-star player. But these guys are fringe, man. Fringe. Chet Holmgren, fringe. And like I said, they're inconsistent. What Chet Holmgren what did he do yesterday? I don't even remember him from the game. That's how unimpactful he was. I don't even remember him. Lou Dort, what did he do in the game? So I don't know, guys. Shout out to San Antonio Spurs. Like I said, Victor Wembanyama ain't even playing like that. Only playing like 20, 22 minutes, 25 minutes. Not even starting. And the Spurs are able to dominate. Oh, I mean, they're dominating the OKC Thunder. Dominating. It's pretty damn impressive, guys. It was a really good game yesterday. I don't know if you guys watched it. It was a really good game yesterday. The Knicks game was really good. Once again, shout out to the Knicks. I'm not doing a video. That's all I'm doing for the Knicks. Shout out to the Knicks on the video, man. But I'm not doing a video on you guys. I'm not a believer, man. Karl-Anthony Towns, what did he do last night? They had they came back. That was an amazing comeback for the Knicks. I mean, Brunson down the stretch. Hart went down with the ankle injury. I thought it was a wrap, right? Mitchell Robinson doing goofy stuff sometimes out there. Sometimes you're like watching the game. But they came through when it mattered most. Bridges hit a couple of big baskets down the stretch. But Karl-Anthony Towns, man, like I said, I'm not a believer. They're not going to win because Karl-Anthony Towns. But anyway, shout out to the San Antonio Spurs. Excellent wins. 3 wins in the last 6 games against OKC Thunder, man. And we're talking about handily beating them. I tell you, on average of 12+ points per game. And they got a lot of athletes on that team, man. Like I said, Vassell, Castle, Wembanyama, Harper, Campagni. The other dude I saw out there on the court. Man, what's his name? Is it Cornette? Right? I could be wrong about that. I can't remember. But they got a couple guys, like I said, some young guys on that team. I'm real impressed, man. So shout out to the San Antonio Spurs. Great game yesterday on Christmas Day, man. Doing their thing. And they keep ascending. The Spurs are ascending right now. Like I said, with Wembanyama on a miss restriction or whatever they got him coming off the bench for, and they're still ascending like this. they're going to be a team that you're not really going to want to see in the playoffs because, like I said, they're becoming one of the top elite defensive teams because they have guys on that team that, to me, like, that was the thing about OKC. You're a bunch of guys that were like 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", right? 6'7", right? I don't know, my son would probably say it if he heard me, man. And they all gave everyone defense, right? So Jalen Williams, SGA, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, Chet Holmgren. These guys give everyone defense. They're defensive-minded players. The problem is on the offensive end. SGA has to carry these guys sometimes. That's what it seems to me. These guys are very inconsistent on the offensive end. The Spurs, the inconsistency comes with someone else, right? You never know who's going to step up. SGA has to be the main guy every night. Victor Wembanyama's the main guy every night. And we've seen that with the injury. Castle stepping up. Vassell steps up. Harper steps up one night. Barnes steps up, right? Chimpagni steps up. Like, these guys have De'Aaron Fox. God, I forgot to mention De'Aaron Fox. My goodness gracious, I'm 20 minutes into the video. I didn't even mention De'Aaron Fox, guys. I forgot, he got traded. But Fox was really good yesterday. He was really good yesterday. So, forgive me. I don't know how I forgot about freaking Fox, man. I was never really a De'Aaron Fox guy. But him coming to the Spurs, he's been good for the Spurs this season. And he's starting to be a little more consistent because that's part of the problem with De'Aaron Fox, the inconsistency of some of these guys that are supposed to be like superstars or fringe superstars that are supposed to be perennial all-stars. They can never just seem to get it and keep it consistent, someone like Fox. But he was really good yesterday, De'Aaron Fox, man. Had some really nice moves, hit some big-time shots. These guys were everywhere. So, once again, shout out to the San Antonio Spurs and, the season they've had so far. And this win over the OKC Thunder yesterday was impressive. On Christmas Day, guys. On Christmas Day, with everybody watching, they went there and beat them again, handedly. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.